Cool, so start whenever you would like.
Thank you so much, Erin. Kia ora, everyone. So lovely to be here. I am just going to share my screen with some slides on it. Perfect. It's so lovely to be here. Obviously, virtually, not ideal, but we are so excited to be here. For everyone I haven't met as yet, my name is Marion, and I am part of the campus recruitment team here at EY. And with me today, I've got my colleagues Meg, and I've also got my colleague Matt here with us. I'll just get them to just do a quick intro to themselves before we get started. Meg, do you want to go first? Oh, Matt, do you want to go first?
Sorry. Kia ora, everyone. My name's Matt. I'm just the campus recruitment coordinator, so I kind of help make. I work in the background, so you'll probably, if you're applying and everything, you probably get emails from me and like calls from me as well. And I'm glad to have you guys all here as well.
Cool. Kia ora, everyone. My name's Meg. I work in the Christchurch office at EY. So I've been with EY for just over 3 years now as a senior consultant. And so, yeah, part of the consulting firm, consulting service line, but I sit within enterprise risk. So I do a lot of compliance, like regulation work.
Perfect. And Meg will be here to talk a little bit about the way that tech works at EY and talk a little bit about consulting and data and analytics. And myself and Matthew will be here just moderating the chat if you have any questions. But we'll just very high level talk about who we are as an organisation. Is anyone online familiar with EY? Is anyone comfortable coming off mute and telling me what you think EY is best known for? It's okay, you can stay on mute. I think a lot of people really think EY and other big four as well are all about, you know, accounting, doing tax returns, and maybe high level have an idea as to what consulting does, but we're just so much more than the numbers on the screen. You know, a fact that's been told to me at a few events at EY has been that we operate in more countries than McDonald's does. So McDonald's, I think, operates in something like 148, and we operate in 152. And we work across 3 major regions. So our region is Asia Pacific, and we are part of the Oceania team. You know, we are really living in such uncertain times, but what hasn't changed is the uniquely human ability to offer insight and empathy while using technology in order to make an impact in the places you do work and the people you work with. And this is why grads and interns are so important to EY and what we do. Our people work with more than 200,000 clients in, as you can see, over 150 countries, and it includes some of the world's most iconic brands and exciting entrepreneurs. So as EY, we really classify ourselves more as global professional services because our offerings are growing every single day in order to serve our diverse clients' needs, from startup entrepreneurs all the way through to multinationals. And as you'll hear about, we do work a lot with technology, making sure that we're ahead of the curve. You'll see very high level again what we do in the data and analytics and consulting space. And we're really proud of the work that we do. And what does it mean to you as someone potentially considering EY as an option? It does mean that working with EY gives you a chance to develop world-class cross-cultural skills and knowledge, and because you're working with so many different people across different countries and different industries, you do gain a lot of knowledge and experience at your time at EY. And you'll also be part of an organisation that's able to think in a connected way across geographical borders and boundaries. And just an example of that, Meg's obviously based in Christchurch, and Matthew and myself are based up in Auckland, but we still have to work together in order to you know, come to students and talk to you. But equally, like, we have colleagues that are based in Australia and in Manila and based in China that we do communicate with on a daily basis. So it's really the secret to having a global mindset and being successful. And it's something that we help all of our people develop. And we're really redefining traditional career experiences and helping to develop transformative leaders. So that's just a little bit about who we are. As I mentioned before, we do have quite a few different service lines. I know a lot of people will know consulting, very high level. You probably know of tax, assurance, and we do have a strategy and transaction team, and we do have core business services. So core business services, we don't typically recruit for in terms of our graduate and intern opportunities, but the other 4 main service lines, so that's tax, consulting, strategy and transaction, and assurance, we do recruit for. And you're probably wondering, what does this mean for me? This is a really hectic slide, I know, but I thought just very high level, I will show you that, you know, there are so many amazing opportunities for you to grow at EY, regardless of what you're studying. Very high level again, you can see that if you're currently studying something like data and analytics, you would be awesome to join our technology consulting team. Equally, there are opportunities in our assurance, people advisory services, and our tax team as well. So if you, you know, after this session want to learn a little bit more about where you can fit at EY, there is a matrix on our EY website where you can go and have a look and see what your specific skill set would mean for the team you could potentially work for. And I do have a little video to show you. And just let me know, I don't think it needs the sound, but just in case. Perfect. So that's just a little bit of insight, I guess, into what we're looking for out of our future leaders. And a big thing for us is, will you shape the future of work, or will it shape you? Oh, it's going to start again. I'm just going to hand over to Meg now, and she will take you through the next couple of slides.
Awesome. Thanks, Marianne. So yeah, do you want to go to the next slide for me, Marianne? And then I can... Perfect. So yeah, technological disruption is changing our organization. I mean, the speed and pace of change today is immense, and it is redefining our world. This is a world where technology companies are gaining value at a really shocking speed. Not sure if many of you know the company Mattel. They are an American company who produce the likes of Barbie and Hot Wheels. It took them almost 25 years to reach their first $1 billion, and it took Instagram only 2. After just 3 years, Snapchat was valued at $10 billion. So you can just see the rapid pace that we're going at the moment. We're in a world at the moment where an app like Pokemon Go can reach 50 million people in just 19 days as well. So not only is the transformative age changing everything we know, but it's also increasing our reliance on connectivity to data, interfaces, people, and experiences. Every business in the world, even including EY, is looking to future-proof their services. EY clients are looking to us to help them navigate risks and opportunities posed by technological advancements. Those technological advancements include the likes of blockchain, which have the potential to help us streamline and accelerate business processes. Also helps us increase the cybersecurity and reduce or eliminate roles of trusted intermediaries, industry after industry. There's also analytics, which is powered by big data and advanced technologies to deliver insights. So it disrupts our day-to-day business processes, and it enables companies to create that competitive advantage. We have robotic process automation, which reduces those mundane tasks, and it increases the value-added work and higher thinking. And then we have our artificial intelligence, which sits at the heart of our innovation agenda, and it mimics human behavior. So we're able to free people from those repetitive tasks in order to carry out more interesting work. So at EY, these technological advancements drive not only the work that we're doing for our clients, and how we do that work, but it's also future-proofing our own services within EY, and that creates more opportunities for our EY professionals. So it's obvious what role innovation plays at companies like Tesla and Uber and Amazon and Google. And you're probably thinking like, oh, cool, like what does technology and innovation play in a professional services organization like EY? And yeah, we don't build those self-driving cars or smart devices, but we do work with the companies that do that. So EY has an innovation advantage. We're a market leader in working with tech companies, and the nature of our work gives us front row seats to the rise of key innovations and insights into how digital trends are impacting every sector. We're investing heavily in areas such as analytics and artificial intelligence to help our clients accomplish things that simply weren't possible a few years ago. So a few examples of how we're actually innovating for ourselves and for EY's clients is we have built some software. EY is using data analytics to help us fundamentally rethink our audit methodology. So the EY digital audit is the first connected data-driven audit, digitally transformed and technology enabled from end to end. So it allows our EY audit professionals and the companies we audit to stay connected through a software called EY Canvas. And this is a global audit platform. So it just means that the processes and procedures behind an audit are automated, which reduces the burden for the client. But it also helps our auditors, our EY audit professionals, to use an advanced data-driven approach to help them helps them enhance their auditor judgment. We also work with bots and leverage a lot of artificial intelligence. We've got a lot of automation happening behind, in our own back office services, and it makes our internal operations more efficient and frees our people up for higher level thinking and human interaction. We've saved 2.1 million hours of repetitive tasks, freeing up our people to make a bigger impact in this space. We've also developed an AI tool to predict the correct tax treatment on what it learns. So it's got an ability to analyze huge amounts of data, and this frees our team's time up in order to identify additional tax relief and engage more personally with our clients. I personally specialise in the regulatory compliance space here in Christchurch as well. I work on remediating organisations' payrolls where they have been incorrectly paid their holiday pay. And I work with millions of rows of data on a daily basis. And it's also really highly sensitive data, such as an employee salary. So we use a lot of automation in the work that I'm doing to kind of crunch through all of that data and produce the right outcomes, which means I can step away from the data crunching and actually spend more time with the client face to face. I can understand what went wrong and how we can fix it. And then we can focus on training the rest of their employees to make sure that they stay compliant in the future. And then the last thing is on blockchain. So EY and Microsoft have a blockchain solution for content rights and royalty management. So this was launched in 2019. So this now processes 25,000 transactions daily, and it supports a wide range of complex agreements, streaming rights and royalties management. And there's also lots of EY clients who are in the wine industry. They use EY blockchain to help assure the quality and authenticity of their new and vintage wines. And this helps reduce the significant issue of wine fraud. So far, there is 1 million bottles of wine that are being tracked using the EY Ops Chain platform. And if we jump to the next slide, perfect. So yeah, the EY digital agenda, we're bringing together service line competencies and sector knowledge, data, technology, to provide services and solutions and products and platforms that are helping clients transform and comply, but also grow and handle a range of non-core functions. And of course, weaving digital into everything they do in their organizations. So our industries, we serve clients in several industries, including the unexpected like clean tech. We have a whole group of people at EY who are devoted to climate change and sustainability services as well. And we help governments streamline. We work with media and entertainment giants, and we have a huge presence in technology among other sectors. The hottest issue across all of these industries is technology and the explosion of big data, how the impact of digital and the constantly evolving landscape of consumers who interact with it. These are some of the challenges that our clients face on a daily basis, and that's what we're here to help with them. So a lot of our work is predicting the future and forecasting trends, reimagining how things work and how things will work. For some organizations, it is about survival mode. It's how to cope in this new age. But for others, it's actually about how can they maximize the opportunity and how can they disrupt the disruptors. So that's why innovation, entrepreneurship, and embracing different ideas and points of views is at the heart of how our teams work together to solve problems at EY. Cool. So the next slide. Thank you. Oh, it must just be a bit slow on my end. That's all good. So to solve the world's most challenging problems, what will you focus on? I guess it's about creating new solutions, but also transforming existing ones. So our culture of innovation at EY means that you get to embrace change in everything you do, from applying new technologies into your work to making existing processes better. Your powerful ideas will unlock your full potential, and it will also help unlock EY's full potential. You'll work with emerging technologies, pursue new opportunities, and reinvent yourself every day. For example, we have a whole team, our client technology team, and they're dedicated to building tech solutions for EY and its clients. We also have alliances with organizations like GE Digital and IBM, Microsoft, LinkedIn, SAP. And this is all to blend emerging technology in areas like blockchain, machine learning, AI, and cybersecurity. Awesome. And then the next slide, please, Marion. Thank you. So are you right for consulting? We're focused on solving the key issues for clients, building deeper relationships, and working hard to make a greater impact. So this could mean advising companies on streamlining its complicated payroll systems, which is what I'm involved in, or helping an exporter confirm its supply chain of goods all over the world is working properly and optimally. It could also mean that you're looking at a company's computer systems and you're seeing actually where are the risks of hacking and other exploitable areas for those organizations. And then are you right for data and analytics? So EY Data and Analytics is EY's leading Asia Pacific analytics and enterprise intelligent capability. So in part of this team, you'll help clients master their organizational information to allow management to make strategic or operational decisions and deliver real business value. So if you have a keen interest in providing advice, EY DNA is the place for you. To put your programming, process analysis, data analytics, visualization skills to good use. You'll enjoy the pace of going from one project to the next, using data to prove hypothesis, and also using quantitative facts to assist in decision making. So to transform the way EY clients use information to solve their biggest challenges, really. It's reimagining how businesses will run in the future by transforming them into intelligent information organizations.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Meg. Does anyone have any questions for us just while we're talking about, I guess, EY's role and what our service lines kind of contribute to the digital age? Does anyone have any questions for us?
If you don't feel comfortable unmuting your mic, feel free to put them into the chat and they can read them from the chat as well.
Totally. I actually had a question for you, Meg. What was your journey like, I guess, coming into EY, and how did you get your foot in the door?
Yeah, so I actually am a UC grad myself. So I did my bachelor's in commerce and then a master's in professional accounting at UC. So although not a STEM studies, I ended up with the enterprise risk team in Christchurch working on these big data remediation projects. I've also dabbled in a bit of tech risk as well. So working with the auditors to kind of give assurance that the technology that companies use for their financials is working as intended. And I think how I kind of landed into all of that was really just talking to people and seeing the way that EY was kind of like on this journey with technology, and I really wanted to be a part of it. So it's really cool to kind of continue to learn even after uni with all this technology.
Oh, we've got a question in the chat. So Ryan has asked how many roles we usually look to recruit for. So Ryan, sometimes it does depend on the year. So this year we have about 100 roles all up for our graduates and a separate number for our interns that we're looking to recruit for. So we still do have applications that we are currently reviewing for spots at EY, but we will be doing a second drive with applications opening again in July. And if you did want to have a conversation with us and you're not comfortable having a conversation with us coming off mute, that's totally fine. What I'd really encourage you to do is just message us on LinkedIn. You should be able to see my name somewhere down here. And I'm sure we'll be able to answer your questions offline as well. And Meg, if you're comfortable, would you be all right with the students adding you on LinkedIn as well? Perfect.
Yeah, of course, definitely.
Perfect. And I see someone said that they're interested in software internships at EY. So I think the way that our internships work at EY, we might not have specific internship and grad opportunities that are, say, just based on software. So the way that it comes in is you'll pick a service line, for example, consulting. And then within consulting, you've got four main groups actually. You've got financial services, and within financial services consulting, there are business consulting and tech consulting, and then within core consulting there is business consulting and tech consulting. And then when you go further into tech consulting, you'll see that there's opportunities aligned to something like technology solutions delivery, or data and analytics. That also comes part of it. So I think what's really important is coming to events like this and asking the questions. Obviously we are hoping to be in person a lot more this second half of the year, so I'd really encourage you to come along to events in person and ask questions like, where can a software developer sit? And to be honest, I think technology solutions delivery is probably the best place for you, given that that's the kind of work that they do with clients day to day. So I think it's just making sure you go out of your way to do a little bit of research and find the right service line and sub-service line for you prior to applying. We do review everyone for every single role, but I think asking the question, having a really clear idea as to where you'd better fit is definitely a huge advantage for you in the application process. Someone has asked, you've asked, do all recent graduates go through an internship or graduate program? So no, so our graduates, obviously if you've done an internship with EY, does give you a bit of a leg up on your graduate role, and if you perform really well in your internship role, you are successful with the graduate position. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the only pool of candidates that we consider for our roles. We do bring in grads who that might not have ever applied with EY before, so we always have a lot of spots free and available to hire into them. I think it's also dependent on location. As you can probably imagine, most of our roles for somewhere like consulting are based up in Auckland. So that's where you would do your internship or start your grad career with us. And of course, we've got locations in Wellington and Christchurch as well. So it just depends, I guess, where you do want to go. But we do have opportunities for people who haven't done internships with us.
Nice. So I was just wondering, so since EY is such a colossally large company, how does the company make sure that every single employee feels like they're having like a significant input rather than just being like a little cog in this colossal machine, essentially?
That's a great question, Samuel. I guess I'll give Meg a chance to also answer the question. I've just moved the slide, just I'll pause it here. I'll give Meg a chance to respond as well, given she's within, I guess, consulting and can kind of speak to it from starting at the same kind of level. But from my perspective, what I found at EY is because we're so progressive in terms of we want new ideas, we want new innovations, we really wrap support around like a graduate at anyone coming into EY. So you've always got a buddy and a counsellor, and your counsellor is your person who helps you to kind of figure out where you'd like to go in your career. You have those types of conversations with them, and then your buddy is someone who, when you start, you can ask them as many questions as you'd like. But what I found personally through my experience, because my counsellor has been within my own team, is that if I have an idea and I'm not sure if I'm ready to share it with the whole team, I test it on her first and say, okay, I've had a think and I think we could maybe do this process slightly different for Oceania. And then she gives me feedback on it, and then she helps me, I guess, create something in order to present it back to someone like my people leader to say, hey, I've had this idea, this is the research I've done around it, would you be happy to implement? I think it's just that support system of having someone to test it out on, get some feedback, and then being able to present it back to people. It's always really scary, I think, as someone brand new to an organization, but I think because there's that drive for innovation and new ideas, I think having that special bond within your team and with your counsellor has really helped me implement different things for New Zealand in my role. Meg and Matt, if you have anything that you'd like to share, please feel free to jump in.
Yeah, well, I've actually got a great example. So obviously every summer we get the interns that come along, and they're actually the most valuable part of our team, because you guys, as the interns, generally they're all still at uni. So they're learning faster than we are. They're bringing in the latest knowledge, the latest technologies that we can use. And so actually over the summer, one of the pieces of technology that I learned and one of the interns taught me was Ultrix. So I use that quite a lot, and I use it every day now for my engagements. But I think the reason that I kind of was so open to being taught this new program in order to make my work more efficient was because I knew that I had kind of exhausted all of my possibilities. And that happened to me as well when I came as a new grad. My managers and the people above me were fully aware that I was the one with the latest knowledge. So when you guys come in as grads, you guys are one of the most valuable people of our team, because we know that you have the newest way of thinking and you have the fastest way of getting things done. So
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for your question, Samuel. I see Mohammed's put a question in the chat. Would you mind to share if graduates are required to further professional certificate when joining EY? No, I think it depends what service line you've kind of gone into and whether or not you'd like to do further study. That's a huge part at EY that we do like to put forward to you. I'm just going to move slides because this will answer your question quite easily. But at EY, we're all about the exceptional EY experience. So we know that as a new grad, it's pretty overwhelming. You come into this massive corporation and you're like, okay, what do I do? What do I wear? Where do I go? I think, you know, the first couple of months, we're just trying to help you get your feet under a desk, kind of know what you're doing day to day. But at EY, we'll provide you with the tools, technology, coaching, and leadership to get there, because your potential is absolutely limitless. And to your question, it's up to you whether or not you want to do additional learning. You know, we provide you with the resources to be able to do it, because when you start, you get a whole bunch of learning modules that you need to complete. And as you're going through every stage of the graduate role, you'll get your induction, you'll get service line specific training. And what happens during that training is, say you're studying, I mean, I'm not sure that you are, but you're studying your accounting and you really want to be a chartered accountant, EY will support that decision and help you with study leave, will help you pay the cost of your admission. If you need bridging courses, we do help pay the cost of that. We will absolutely support any development opportunity that you are looking for, but it's not necessary for you to complete an additional paper or a degree if you've already got your baseline, which will help you do your work day to day. You know, we have a variety of experiences that is across a broad range of different topics, and you can do things like the EY Tech MBA, and you can do EY badges. And those learning opportunities are with you from day one. Even as an intern, you can complete some of the EY badges. So it really is completely up to you what you do within your learning. And in terms of, I guess, some of the personalized career development, we support your journey to becoming your best professional self. Some of the trainings we do, like My Purpose, I found that really helpful to find actually, what do I want to achieve in my career? What's my purpose of working at EY? And we'll help you find the ability to build your career in the direction you choose. We want you to feel valued for who you are and what you bring. And of course, we provide a lot of flexibility in work and in work-life balance. And I think one of the things that, oh, no problem, Mohammed. One of the things that really drew me personally to EY was 100% the culture. You know, you build those long-term relationships of value, and you build that with your cohort of grads or interns that join with you, but equally with people outside of your immediate team that you form friendships with. You get a chance to learn from others. And one thing that I found at EY is that, you know, you can go to a partner and say, hey, can I take you for a coffee? I'd love to hear your story and hear how you've got to where you are. And they're really open to that. Obviously, if they've got time, they're absolutely open to that. Feeling supported is a really big part of, you know, the graduate experience, and having a mentor and having better conversations, and that culture is what I think a lot of people are drawn to about EY. We want you to feel part of the team. We want you to feel inspired in the work that you're doing. And I guess, again, that's where that conversation with your counsellor really comes into play, because your voice really matters. And EY is kind of the place where we want you to be able to aspire to your own version of success. And I think I'd mentioned a little bit about, you know, a course that you can take. It's called Find Your Purpose. And we want you to find your purpose at work, because you spend a lot of time at work. You know, when you think about it, out of your entire lifetime, you want to feel that at work you have a purpose, you know what you want to do, you get involved with activities and supporting your community. That's a really big part of what we do. And an amazing part of EY is that we've got a team called EY Ripples, and they look at opportunities for everyday people like you and me to go into places like high schools and mentor people. Matt is actually, who will be able to speak to this a lot, but he's part of doing some homework clubs, and I currently mentor a student going through university at the moment. So there's a lot of opportunities that you can find your purpose at EY, and it's all focused on building a better working world, and it acts as our North Star, and it provides context and meaning behind the work that we do every day. As I mentioned, EY Ripples, it's our corporate responsibility program where you can address some of the biggest social challenges of our time using your skills that you do have, your knowledge and experience to make a meaningful impact. I might just ask quickly, Matt, if you can talk about, I guess, EY referrals, given that you're currently working with them. Can you tell me a little bit about Homework Club and what it is?
Yeah, of course. So I'm actually going this afternoon to a primary school. So basically what we do is we go in once a week in the afternoon to help primary school kids with their homework. And also we actually also give them like fruit and stuff as well, which is quite nice. This is actually because I actually just recently started with EY, so this is my second month, and this is my first homework club. But I mean, that's how quickly you can kind of get back and like help participate with the EY referrals as well. But you don't have to be here for like a certain amount of time to actually start doing it.
Thanks, Matt. And I think that's it for me as well. Like I have a huge pull towards doing more for my community, and the opportunity to have that be part of my role as well is what I find really rewarding. Simon, I've seen your message that you're doing a statistics degree. Do you know where you would be great? And this is, again, me not being biased, but I think you'd be awesome in somewhere like our financial services team. And the reason I say that, or our actuarial team, is because we need people like you to help us determine what companies should be doing in their actuary departments, because insurance is a huge part of New Zealand, and they help to find, hey, actually, are we charging a fair rate? So there's definitely a spot for you within our consulting team. But equally, I think you would be able to apply for a team like strategy and transactions, and they would find your skill set really helpful to be able to get things done on their end. I would suggest, yeah, definitely come to some of our events that we'll be hosting with people from each service line. We will be doing that in the July campaign, and one of them will be called Meet the Hiring Manager. And I think, Simon, if you come to that event, you'll be able to hear from people who do the work day to day. We'll be hosting more of these events, of course, but what I would suggest doing is coming along, because statistics is so important to the work that we do in each service line. I'm biased because I look after financial services, so of course I'm going to say you should come to that team, but I would love the opportunity for us to engage a little bit more and talk, I guess, about what you're passionate about, because I think it'll be dependent on what you're really passionate about is which service line might align to you more. And Josiah, so in terms of remote locations, we do have our main hubs as Auckland, Wellington and Christchurch. You don't have to work from the office every single day, but what I would suggest is, because as a graduate we do tend to have everyone coming in more often, so you get your feet under the desk, you know what you're doing day to day, and get that connection with the people around you as well. So we do tend to have everyone based in a location with an office. For example, I'm actually not based in Auckland. My home office is Auckland, but because of my role where I travel a lot for work, I don't need to be based in Auckland. I'm based, well, not that far away, I'm based in Hamilton, and I commute in once a week or twice a week whenever I'm needed. I think, again, it's definitely a bit different because there's only 3 locations, but at the same time, you can travel between the offices as well. So we do have that flexibility for you to be able to work from, say you're based down in Christchurch and for a week you're going up to Auckland to hang out with some friends. You have the flexibility to work from that office. And in terms of traveling positions, I think, you know, when the border starts opening up and you have more opportunities, you do get to do international secondments. So I definitely know of quite a few people who have gone over to the United States, who have done work over in the UK to help deliver a piece of work. So there are positions like that available for once you've kind of got your feet under the desk and completed, I guess, your first year as a graduate. But that's something we can, of course, discuss in more detail. Does anyone else have any questions? Or does, Meg, did you have anything to add to anything I've mentioned? Given you've been a grad and you've been there and done that.
Yeah, I guess, no, you definitely covered it all, Marion, but to continue on the traveling thing, just like an example is that I have a lot of family based in Auckland, so I'm actually in the Auckland office quite a lot, probably once a month. And of course, it's a great opportunity to be able to meet the team that I work with in Auckland. So, you know, I've met them behind the screen a lot of times, but being able to see them in person is definitely awesome. So.
Just on that, Meg, when you first went to the Auckland office, were you nervous because it wasn't your home office?
Yes, I was. Luckily, I was up there for training, so there were some people with me. But no, now that I'm there now, I feel like I'm just part of the furniture. So it's great.
And in terms of grad learning, you can probably speak to it a little bit better than me. What kind of learning did you get and development opportunities?
Yeah, so probably the best experience or the best training that I got as a grad was what we all called grad camp, but it was just a week-long training with all of the graduates of my cohort, and we basically spent time together. I met people from Australia. This was pre-COVID, but I did so much learning just about, you know, what it is to be in professional services. So there's a amazing week-long course called Core Consulting, which basically gives you the basics of being a great consultant, and you can apply it to almost every consulting engagement that you go on. Other learning that I've done is a lot of tech risk, so understanding about risks in businesses, and then I do a lot of independent learning as well with those EY badges. So currently doing a badge in data integration and another one in impact entrepreneurship. So yeah.
And how do you find the EY badges?
Yeah, I really like them actually, and I'm super fortunate that my counsellor really supports me to do it. So I tend to spend maybe one afternoon a fortnight just working away on the badges. So the great thing about them is the fact that you get an open access to Udemy, which is I'm not sure if you can get access to it through UC, maybe it's just through like companies. But I get open access to Udemy in order to learn more about data integration. So I've done courses on how to integrate Power BI into my work, how to learn Alteryx, how to use Python to do programming tools. So I've done all of that learning. And then the other component of it is the experience. And that's what I do in my day-to-day engagements. So, you know, I've been able to apply a few Alteryx workflows into my day-to-day engagements, which has improved the efficiency. And as a result, that has all kind of come together for my badge in order to get a bronze level badge in that.
Oh, that's so cool. I haven't had a chance to tackle a badge, so it's nice to hear how you kind of fit it into your day-to-day, and you haven't found it, I guess you've had the time to do it once a fortnight and that's worked for you.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's about setting those intentions as well, you know, like if you make it clear that you want to do some extra learning, you want to sit down and do a badge, you just got to make it clear to your team, and then they'll immediately support you in it. So it's always about just making your intentions and your wants clear to your team so that they can work around it. We have recently as well been given these learning days. So once a month we get a whole day that's kind of solely focused just on our learning. So the intention is to kind of, you know, use that opportunity to work on your badge, use that opportunity to go and do a face-to-face course. At the moment, I'm doing the Te Reo Māori course. So yeah, it's really fun. And the next learning day, we actually have the people coming, I think they're from Auckland, down, and they're going to do a face-to-face session with us, which is going to be awesome. So it's a great time to do some face-to-face learning after 2 years of screens.
No, that is so great to hear. Thank you, Meg. Just in terms of eligibility criteria to join EY, in order to be successful in our positions, you will need to be either a New Zealand citizen or an Australian citizen or a permanent resident. If you are an international student, that's totally fine. What we will need from you is that you're currently enrolled in a degree at a New Zealand university. You will need to have either a permanent residence application going through, or you'll need to be able to provide your up-to-date visa. I guess the reason I know that there's a lot about what's happening with visas at the moment and with immigration, so completely appreciate if you're an international student and a bit hesitant about applying because of this, but as long as you've got your visa that says that you can work in New Zealand, we will absolutely review your application. And if you are successful, it's just your responsibility as a candidate to make sure that if your status of employment in New Zealand changes, you need to let us know. And if for whatever reason you've moved from a student visa into a post-study visa, we just always need to be in contact so that we've got the up-to-date information. But any questions at all, you just need to let us know ahead of your application, or if you have any other questions on eligibility to work in New Zealand, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. As I mentioned, you can feel free to message me on LinkedIn. Myself, Matt and Meg are quite happy for you to reach out to us if you need anything at all. And just in terms of EY and our applications, I know it says applications open now and closed 1st of April. Obviously, it closed a little while ago, but we are still in the process. If you have applied with us and haven't heard back, we're still in the process of reviewing applications. We're doing a little bit slower than normal, but we want to make sure we review every single application. If you do want to, there are a few options that will come up again in our July campaign, and that is our Career Compass program. So that's if you're going to complete your studies in 2024, 2025. Please come to our Career Compass program. It's a really great day or a couple of days, depending on locations. You'll be able to develop some of your personal skills. You'll learn more about EY and you'll create connections with our EY team members, and they'll be able to talk to you about their career experiences, what it means to work in every single service line in great detail. And equally, there's the opportunity at the very end to interview for our internship program, which will be an internship for the end of 2023. It's one day, it's in September. We're hoping it's in person, and Matthew and myself set up the whole day, so there will be good food. Catering will not be an issue. You'll love it.
Sorry to interrupt, but I believe that date says the 1st of April.
Yes, sorry. As I mentioned, applications are already closed for this at the moment. Sorry, but it'll reopen again in July. So all applications will reset in July, and we'll come back out to market. So you'll still have the opportunity to apply for all of these again. Unfortunately, we just haven't updated the slide, which I've just now seen. Again, July, I think it's 25th, we're looking to open. So second week of uni, because I appreciate first week of uni is a little bit hectic to try to get everything done. The other opportunity that we do have is an internship program. So if you are due to finish your studies in 2023, so you're in your penultimate year, that is our preference. Reason being is because at the end of your internship, if you're successful, off the back of it, you do get offered a graduate role ahead of going back to school. So that's kind of why we do like to have our students in their penultimate year. It's an opportunity, you're working with real clients, working on real jobs, and I guess still getting the same amount of support and learning opportunities that you would as a graduate joining EY. The difference is obviously it's only over a 12-week summer period. So you would start in November and then finish with us in February ahead of the university opening back up again. I think that interns are like rock stars because they get invited to all the coolest stuff, and everyone wants to get to know them and take them out to lunch. So it's a really great opportunity for you to also just dip your toes in the working world, see what it's like to work in an office, and you'll get an opportunity to go into, I know there will be an event at the Christchurch office that they'll be hosting in the middle of July to end of July, where you'll get a chance to go and meet these people face to face. So it's less scary going in for a recruitment day or an interview because you would have already been there. With the graduate role, of course, you'll need to be in your final year to apply. We do know that it's been a bit janky with COVID, that some papers, weren't offered and you had to take them at a different time. So if you're a mid-year starter for, say, July 2023, you can still apply. We want you to start your career, obviously, with an award-winning organisation. And you do have the opportunity, if you are starting as a graduate with us, you can undertake post-graduate qualifications, and it's dependent on service line. Different service lines offer different ones, which is applicable, but as long as you're having that conversation with your counsellor or your people leader to make it known that you'd like to do something, we're really accommodating with all of those. like I said, full-time from 2023. So if you do have an additional semester of study left in the start of 2023, you're probably best to wait until next year to apply. Reason being because it's pretty full on starting as a graduate, and there's a lot of work that does happen. So we want you to have a nice little break over summer and then come back raring and ready to go. And just final slide, we obviously want you to join today to help change tomorrow, because like Meg said, you're the next generation coming in that has the knowledge that we need. You know, after today, this is an awesome opportunity for us to firstly see you and say hello, and for you to also message us on LinkedIn if you've got questions. You get to know us a little bit, but equally we're getting to know you and what you're looking for. After today, you can go and do your own research about EY, find out what we do and where you would fit in, our culture, and meet our people. Like I said, a really great resource that we do have is that you can put in your degree and see the different career lines that it can take you, and that's on our EY careers webpage. If off the back of this is something like EY is a company you'd like to apply for, we'll have opportunities, like I said, to meet us at other events, but our applications will open back up in July, and you'll have to fill in an application form, your CV, your university transcript, and some photo ID. With your university transcript, please don't worry, it doesn't need to be official. A screenshot of it is perfectly fine as well. It just gives us an opportunity just to clarify and make sure that we know what you're studying, what your majors are, and of course when you're due to graduate as well, and it's just confirmed for us there. We don't need you to do a cover letter, so if that's something you don't want to submit, it's perfectly fine. We're perfectly fine with just your CV, because we get a lot of the information on our application form anyway. Once you've completed your application, you should be invited to complete some online assessments, and if you're successful, you'll get another job simulation. And once you complete the assessment, if you haven't completed it within a 48-hour window, it does automatically lock you out. So please make sure that you keep with completing it on time. And then we are still currently reviewing applications, but once we've reviewed all of the applications, we tend to do an in-person recruitment day. And essentially it's just an opportunity for you to meet some of our team, get to know us a little bit, but equally it's completely your day as well for you to come in with all your questions, and interview us as much as we're interviewing you, to make sure it's the organisation that you want to be at. And then once you've attended the recruitment day, and you know, if you've demonstrated during that day that you're a great fit for EY and you've enjoyed meeting us as well and found out all the information, you'll be able to get an offer with us. I know it sounds like a very quick process. Just bear with us. It does take a little bit of time due to the volume of applications we do receive. And of course, because of COVID, it has caused some delays in terms of how many people we can have in a room together at one time. But essentially, this process will stay again for the July campaign. And like I have mentioned, we will hopefully be able to be on campus a little bit more visible, but I encourage you to follow the EY social media pages as well. You'll get all of the up-to-date information with opening dates and when we're going to be in person, when events are coming out. And please do, if you'd like to attend any event in person, please let us know, because we want to meet you and get to know you as well. So I think we're bang on time here, but with 5 minutes for Q&A, did anyone have any questions that they haven't been able to type into the chat as yet, or if there is anything that I can clarify, or if you want, of course, ask me questions about what it was like to be a graduate. Anyone? It's all good if you don't. Like I mentioned, you can always message us on LinkedIn, and we're more than happy to respond.
So in regards to the internship offering for people who are looking to graduate at the end of next year, how would that apply? So in my case, where I'm seeking to graduate in the middle of the year after, would I still be eligible, or would that be, or should I wait until the following year?
You are eligible technically, Samuel. So the reason I say that is because penultimate, like I said, we're well aware that it's a bit hard with the university years, and some people are studying and finishing at a different time. We are accepting applicants in your position, given that, you know, you just have to start a little bit later. We do have mid-year starters, but you know, I think it's important that you put your application out there for us to review, because we're very accommodating for the right person.
I also have a question for Meg.
Yes, Meg.
Go for it.
So being a UC graduate, what would you recommend someone at UC would do now to give them a better chance to get into a role at EY?
That is a really good question, actually. So I guess the way that I found out about EY, and I think probably helped my application, was my involvement in the clubs. So I was on Entree during my time at UC, and then I also ended up working for the Centre for Entrepreneurship quite a bit as well. And so I think my involvement in that, and then EY's involvement at UCE as well, introduced me to quite a few of the people who worked for EY. I met them, I really enjoyed talking to them, speaking to them, hearing about their experiences, that I decided to apply. And I think that my involvement within UCE, but then also them getting to know those people through the club scene, really kind of helped my application forward. So I would strongly recommend getting involved in some of the club events and activities, and because I think that not only proves that you're not just your studies, you actually have purpose outside of your studies, but it also just gives you a lot more personality and a lot more personality and like interest in things just outside of exactly what you're studying. Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you.
Cool. So if I've got no more questions, I think we'll finish it off there. It's coming right up on that timeline there. Thank you very much for all the presenters at EY. It's been a really good session, really good questions as well coming through. You got anything final to say?
No, just a huge thank you for having us. We really appreciate it, and hopefully look forward to talking to you all soon.
Hopefully in person as well.
Exactly.